Hi, Ed Akehurst here. I've got an email here that I received, and I'm going to do a small training on it because I know other people have this question. I have edited this just for full transparency to take out like the type of company and the industry he's in and things so that one, I don't reveal any of his personal information and so that this can benefit more people. Okay. So here's the question. I'm starting to use your Genius Messenger CRM. However, I do have a question for you. If I've never met people on Facebook, how do I break the ice with them since they've never met me before? Can I use Genius Messenger CRM for cold calling to people I have never met? I'm starting a new company and I need to learn from you how I can start making new relationships with people I have no relationship with. Great question. I wish more people would reach out and ask questions. I've been doing marketing since 1983 and marketing and sales since 1983. This is 2022. So almost 40 years. And I do have a little bit of experience with this. And I tell people all the time, hit me up if you need help with something. They think I mean only my software. No, hit me up if you need help with something. I love doing this stuff, helping people out. There were people that helped me when I started. And as I had questions, even as an experienced person, I still ran into things I need help with. And I reach out, and then I love it when other people can reach out to me. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. Okay. What I want to answer this question kind of interesting, and this is going to be applicable to people even if you're not using Genius Messenger CRM. First off, Genius Messenger CRM is a tool that works in your friends list and in your messenger list. So they have to at least be friends with you or have messaged you or you've messaged them. If you have 4,000 Facebook friends and you have 1,200 people that are not friends, but you've sent a message back and forth or even one way, you'll have 5,200 people in your Genius Messenger CRM database. Okay. So they're not going to be completely cold. They're not going to be people they've never met you before. So what I want to do before I even get into answering this question is let's find out how to get people to meet you, okay, and to get them into your friends list or into your messenger list. Then we'll talk about how to break the ice with them, and then we'll talk about how to start making new relationships with them. Okay, how to actually build a relationship with them. So this will be 3 parts to this training. And I don't know if I'm going to break this up in 3 videos or if I'm going to just kind of roll and roll and roll. I may do part 1, part 2, part 3. So first we want to talk about getting people into your network so that you can break the ice. And that'll be part 2. And then part 3 will be all about relationships. All right. I'm going to use Facebook because that's what Genius Messenger CRM works with. And I do have tools to automate just about everything I'm talking about, but I want to walk through and show you how to do it manually. Automation tools, people have one of 2 opinions of them. Either they love them or they hate them. And the people that hate them because they don't think they're human, quote unquote, right? They take the humanity out of your relationships and your communications. They don't if you do it right. So I want to teach you how to do it manually because once you understand that, you can use automation to scale that exact manual approach. And then you'll have a completely human appearance. The only difference is instead of getting 5 people in your network today that you can break the ice with, you'll get 50 people in your network today that you can break the ice with. But those people will never know you used automation unless you told them, if you do it right. The other problem I have, or that people have with automation, and this is not the problem they have, although it becomes one, they just don't realize it, is they don't put that humanity first. They think, oh, I got automation. It's great. I'm dealing with large numbers of people. Great. I can just spam people with my links. Well, you can, but you're going to get marked for spam. You're going to get restricted from Facebook because people are going to report you. The people that don't report you are going to go, what a jerk. This guy doesn't even know me and he's just banging on my door trying to sell me crap. Block, unfriend, screw off, whatever, I don't know, but it's not going to work. And people go, oh, I reached out to 200 people, this week and none of them are talking to me. Well, I can pretty much guarantee if that happened, you didn't break the ice with them. You just spammed them a link or you just said, hey, buy my stuff. Or you just said, how you doing? Do you need this service? So we'll talk about how to not do that, but don't do that, okay? And we'll talk about what to do instead. But so with that said, let's dive in, all right? And we'll talk about how to do it manually first, and then we can talk about how to use automation tools to scale it up a little bit. But the first thing you want to do is you want to find groups on Facebook, okay? And what you're looking for is where does your, and I'm gonna just type for a little bit and talk and run through the entire process, and then we'll go out into a group and I'll show you some examples of this of how to do it, right? But right now I just want to lay out the whole process. Okay, so number one, find groups on Facebook, and you want to find places where we'll call it an avatar, right? Where does your avatar hang out? All right, and once you've located those groups, you want to make sure they're active. Okay, make sure that group is still active, and make sure it's not just active with spammers, right? Make sure it's not a spam group. Okay, and while you're checking, whoops, my typing's always bad, so bear with me. So make sure it's not a spam group. But then also, while you're making sure it's active and not a spam group, make sure it's something you can engage with. All right. We have a tool called Genius Connector, right? And you can go out to a group and just friend people, right? But what I'm teaching you is don't do that yet. There's some steps you want to take first. People don't want to do the manual work. They go, I bought automation to be automated. Well, that's great, but you need to build a foundation first if you want that automation to be truly, efficient and really scale this up. Can you just use the automation blindly and get results? Absolutely. If you use it correctly, you can. But you might get 10 new friends a day, whereas if you do what I'm going to show you and you do it efficiently for a while, the sky's the limit, all right? Make sure it's something you can post in, all right? And I'll talk about that in more detail as we go down here. And then you want to request to join, okay? If all the above is good, then you want to request to join, all right? And once you've joined the group, you want to start posting. And I'll show you some examples of what to post. I'll actually show you like some things you could do. But you need to do value posts only. All right? You are not going in to a group to say, I've got this great tool. I offer this great service. I have a great company that can help you. Here's what I can do. You don't even want to mention that. You want value posts only. Okay? There are two reasons that you're doing this. One is get your name known. All right. There are two kind of ways people will know your name. If you're actually giving them value, or they're in a thread that you're providing value, they may actually know your name after you've done this for the time period I'm going to suggest. But the other thing that you want to, I'm sorry. They may actually know your name, but even if not, people scroll through stuff and their mind sees the name and it filters it out of their thought process, but that name is still in their subconscious. Your brain is still seeing that name and adding it into some memory somewhere, so that when you reach out to them with a message or with a friend request or something down the road, even if they don't remember your name consciously, they will go, man, that person sounds familiar. I think I know them from somewhere. Well, of course they do. They've read your value posts, right? And they've seen your name and they've read your value posts. And your chances of them responding to you positively, either accepting a friend request or replying to a messenger, outreach, goes up exponentially. All right. So the purpose of the value post is to get your name known. All right. Either whether that's consciously or subconsciously is almost irrelevant. Okay. But also, all right, the other thing you want to do is, what are you going to be known for? You want to be known for providing value. All right? That's the important thing. Okay? So value posts only. So that people see your name, and know that what do? You provide value. You've given insight. You've never asked for anything. Okay, this is your foundation. Right here. This is building your foundation in that group. You should go out and find, I would say, you want to actually join 6, between a half a dozen and a dozen groups, okay? And you want to post 2 to 3 times every day in each of those groups for a week. At least a week. And once you get into actually doing your outreach, don't stop going into the groups. You can either continue posting here, you can join more groups, you can post more often in the in the groups that people are starting to react to you. If you get a group and people love your posts and they're saying thank you and they're reaching out and they're commenting and they're loving your post and they're sending gifts back to you and all kinds of stuff like that, maybe on that group you want to post 4 to 6 times every day. All right, find posts you can comment on, or find things you can create your own posts and do value posts. Okay. Do this. People are like, oh, but I wanted to learn about automation. Well, so what? Do you want to learn how to use the automation to scale something? Or do you want to use the automation just to say you used automation and then 2 weeks later you go, why am I not getting any traction? Do the work. Do the groundwork. Okay? This is what separates, the wheat from the chaff, as they say. Are you willing to build a foundation? If you are, this automation will scale you to depths you've never dreamed of. But if you're not willing to do the foundation, just go buy another shiny object. All right, and give up this dream of doing this, at least in this way. All right, sorry that may have been a little harsh, but I get tired of people going, the automation's not working. Well, have you done this? Have you done? No, I sent 50 people my link. Well, that was dumb. You're not going to get any traction that way. You're not going to get any results. Let's save you some money. Cancel your order. Go find something else to do, or pay attention to what needs to be done and do it. Just go do it. Okay, so. Once you've done that, all right, now you can do one of two things. Now you can do outreach, okay? Outreach can be, maybe you send them a friend request, right? Friend request. And or message them, okay? And I'll talk about what to message them, but it should be related to interactions in the group. All right, whether you're doing this, related to interactions in the group. Whether you're doing this manually and you say, hey, these people are in threads that are active and they've actually responded to me, or you're doing an automation, there'd be a different way to word that if you're just going into a whole group and just doing friend requests out at random using automation, but you can still tie it back to interactions in the group, and I'll talk about how to do that, okay? And that's it, okay? So this is the foundation, all right? You've got to build this. I think I am going to do this in a couple of videos, so we don't have one super long video. But this is building your foundation, right? Because you can't break the ice with them until you've built that foundation. So let me take a couple of minutes and I'll show you some examples of this and how you could actually do that, okay? I'm going to use real estate agents as an example, all right? I went out to Facebook. I searched for real estate groups, all right? You can go search Facebook. I typed in realtor, which is what they're known, most of them are known by here in the U.S. Overseas, I don't think you have that term. I don't think the realtor organization is out there. But find what you're looking for is groups, right? You can go see more and find some groups. So what are we looking for? Let's go back here. Make sure they're active. 10 posts a day, 10 posts a day, 8 posts a month. Even that's active. It's not as active. 10 posts a day. You don't want to see something like, if we scroll, well, these are probably going to get a lot of active ones in real estate agents, but you don't want to see something, 2 posts a month. 94,000 members, 10 posts a day. Real estate agent referral network. If it just said that, this is probably not good unless you run a referral network or you are a real estate agent and you just want to talk to other agents and then get them out of there to chat with them about your other stuff. But and marketing tips. This is a potentially good group, right? So let's click this, okay? And let's scroll down and take a look. This is somebody looking for a friend. Suggestions for a great brokerage, looking to shadow, probably not going to help. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Whether you're a real estate agent or not, could you come up with some great podcasts on real estate which could help new agents? Of course you can. Watch this. Podcasts for new real estate agents, right? I'm going to skip the ads. Top 10 podcasts for new real estate agents in 2021. All right. Okay. I'm not going to go through them, but you see what I did there? Go through and grab some, and don't give the list. They could find that on Google. But just say, and go in and watch them, make sure they're not spammy, maybe even listen to 5 minutes of it, see how it is, and if it sounds like something really good, post it in here, okay? Go add a post, write an answer, put it, and post it. All right. Remember, well, you're not there yet. I'm still up here making sure it's active and not a spam group and something you can post in. But once you've seen these, which I already know that's probably it. I haven't seen any spam. It is active, and it looks like there's at least one post you can post in, right? If so, request to join. But this could be a value post, right? How many people? 54 people did this. So guess what? If they have their notifications set, you put a post in here with some podcasts or one or two of them, and say, hey, these two are really good. Boom, boom. 54 people are going to get notifications. Hey, somebody put a post in a thread you're interested in. And it's an active post, right? When was this post done? July 16th. So it was done days ago, and you've still got people, if I go down, probably within the last few minutes, right? 2 days, 1 day, 13 hours. It's not doing it by time, but yeah, this is a really active thread. So again, remember what I said. You want people to see your name and remember who you are, so when you do your outreach, they either recognize you. If they clicked on your link and liked the podcast, they'll remember your name, right? So if you put an answer in here and somebody responds to it and says, hey, thanks a lot, 100% agree or thanks a lot, that might be somebody to go add a friend to, right away. Just manual it. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, how are you? Saw you posting my thread over there. Great to meet you. We'll talk more into how to do that later. All right, so there's one. Let's find another value post. I probably shouldn't have opened that one up. What is this? Newer agent. Pittsburgh, Charlotte, referral. Okay. There may not be a whole lot. Well, here's one. Agent IDX website. You could go find some of those, and post them in here. Maybe that's a service you offer or whatever, okay? There was one in this group, and I'm not seeing it. I think they're pre-licensing recommendations. You could do a Google search on that and give some tips out. Here's a great one. For agents who do an open house regularly, what do you do for your own safety? Go to Google, or call your agent. Say, hey, I'm doing some work with some other real estate agents, and they're asking, what do you do for safety at an open house? And get some tips from an actual real estate agent and come in here and post them, right? How many comments does this have? 170 comments. You post in here, you're going to have potentially 170 notifications. Hey, John Doe or Jane Doe posted in a thread you're interested in. Get your name seen, provide value. All right? So we just found 3 things we can post in there. I don't need to scroll anymore. There's one group, post 3 things. Those 3 things might take you 10 minutes. Quick Google search. Maybe it's something you already know. Do a post, do a value post. Give some feedback in there. Do that 6 to 12 groups. You could take an hour a day to do this. And don't do your outreach. Now, if somebody, like I said earlier, if you put a post in here and somebody comes back and responds, do some outreach right away. They're engaging with you directly. But otherwise, just hold off until you use tools like I have Genius Connector, right? Which will go into a group and it'll add friend requests to the members of that group based on some criteria you feed the software. But before you even think about using software like that, do this. Get your value posts in there, all right? And do that for a week. All right, I think you get the idea for this. I don't think there's anything more I need to do, but this is your foundation, right? That's your foundation that you're building before you start breaking the ice and start making new relationships with them, okay? Can you do this right away? Of course you can. And you could just say, I'm not doing this video 1 thing. I'm going to go watch Ed's video 2. I'm going to break the ice with them. I'm going to watch Ed's video 3. I'm going to start making new relationships with them. That's fine. You can do that. No problem. But if you do this foundation, you will get much, 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 much better results. So I'm going to go ahead and end this part 1 video now. We're coming up on almost 20 minutes. So I spent a lot more time on this foundation than I thought I was going to. I don't think the other videos are going to be quite as long, but who knows? They might be. Hopefully you've gotten some value out of this. If you have questions, let me know. Start putting this into practice. And maybe even hold off on watching video 2 and 3 for a week, unless you want to see what you're going to be doing. But build this foundation before we get to these next items. Okay, thank you. Hopefully this has been valuable to you, and I'll see you in the next video.